welcome to this News9 special with me, Nabila. We often hear about incidents of sexual violence through various media platforms. We think about it for a little while and then move on with it, but the trauma indeed remains embedded within the minds of the victims. One such heinous incident of sexual violence was experienced by a woman right here in Bengaluru inside an Ola cab. Here's a report.
This is Ashwini, a singer and event manager based in Bengaluru. She organizes and performs at karaoke events across the city. Her work requires her to stay out late at night and ensure revelers have a good time. The work timings run into the wee hours, not unlike countless professionals in the city, including those in the IT field. Typically, if Ashwini's work stretches beyond what is considered an earthly hour, she stays over at a friend's place and heads home the next morning in broad daylight. However, early Thursday morning was an exception. A routine cab ride with dreadful consequences. Ashwini had to travel to her home in Begur from her event at Koramangala as she had some errands to run near her home early the next morning. At about 2 a.m., she hailed a cab using the online taxi aggregator Ola. All was well for about 20 minutes into the journey, but what happened next was beyond her imagination.
Post Bumnali, the signal, it was just about 2-3 kilometers from that intersection. This driver stopped in the pretext of roadblock and reversing. So he initially wanted to take a detour, saying that would join the road that I want to go to, but I told him not to. He still insisted, and it looked really dark there. I mean, that place was really isolated and dark. I said, no, you're not taking that. And I asked him to reverse, okay? So he turned, looked back, and he leaned over and he just grabbed my chest and he started molesting me.
The ordeal did not end when she left the cab. The man followed her with his hedonistic intentions.
I was still yelling. I was visibly, obviously very shaken from head to toe, and there was not one soul on the road. So then I was literally yelling at him and asking him to leave the place. I told him I'm going to complain, so threatening him, asking him to leave. He turned and he started following me.
Despite tracking technology, they still perpetrate these crimes. This Ola driver, identified as Ravi Kumar, knew fully well that his face exists for all to see on the app, that his car details will remain on his victim's phone, that he can easily be tracked. Yet, he had the audacity to perpetrate this despicable act of sexual assault on Ashwini that day. Did this man think he could get away with such a heinous act?
I mustered enough courage to again shout back at him, and I asked him to leave. I said, I'm telling you, I'm going to take this up very seriously. Leave. And that's when he zoomed off.
Barely coming back to her senses after this severe trauma, she decided to first call Ola to complain. After being bounced around various desks and after repeated calls, she finally reached someone on Ola's safety desk who heard her out and assured her that the driver was terminated. But is that a satisfactory response for Ashwini?
The solution was they terminated his services and blacklisted him. And and when I told them how's that going to help me, and you really need to change your hiring process, hire more professional people, I don't know on what basis you hire, how you end up with such people, because there are other cab services with much more professional drivers. So Ola has the highest rate of, I guess, unprofessional drivers. So I just wanted to understand how just Ola ends up with such drivers. So the answer I got from the guy and the lady next day was something like, no, we do a background verification check, and this guy didn't have any criminal records, so well, he was hired.
Another difficult thing to do is the police complaint that needs to be filed following such an incident. Reliving this horrendous event, especially in the immediate aftermath, is unimaginably traumatizing. But for the sake of aiding a complete investigation, victims do need to answer some of the most uncomfortable questions. But is there no better way out? The trauma stays for long, perhaps forever. The trauma that follows such an instance in life cannot be brushed away, forgotten, or extricated from one's mind. It remains deep-rooted. It affects one's ability to take decisions. It affects relationships or one's ability to build trust.
I was molested as a kid when I was 5 years old, and all I can say is I lost all my confidence. I didn't know why it happened with me. At that point of time, I wanted to talk about it to my parents, but I thought it's my fault. Okay? I thought it's something about me that made that guy molest me. So I was so scared to talk about it to my parents. Yeah? And I grew up very, very defensive. I became a rebel. I kind of didn't trust, I still don't trust men. Yeah, it changed. I'm not confident on a lot of levels, and I think that is one of the main reasons.
What is the right punishment for such offenders? There is a constant complaint that perpetrators of such despicable acts get away scot-free. But with a spate in such horrendous activities, is it enough that these offenders are put away for a few years? Should there not be a more stringent punishment? A punishment that is not only commensurate to the crime committed, but one that acts as a deterrent for potential offenders from committing such a crime. What do victims like Ashwini look for when they seek justice?
Only way this will stop is if the punishment is meted out on a very, very different level. Whoever does this offender, I'm talking about any offender, needs to be put up on he needs to be put out in the public and probably pelted with stones, and this has to be seen by everyone. A big screen needs to be put up in probably a very famous hangout, or it needs to be aired everywhere on every channel, and the punishment needs to be seen by everyone.
With the FIR lodged at the Bommanahalli police station, the police have begun efforts to apprehend Ravi Kumar, the criminal driver. As of now, this is the update from the police.
Now 3 teams were formed under the ACP Madiwala. Now PI Bommanahalli he is heading the teams. Now we know about what is the owner of the cab, and we know about who is the driver who done these acts, so that we are hopeful that he will be arrested very soon.
Ola may have said that the background of the driver did not indicate any criminal record, but clearly this was not sufficient. The driver still perpetrated the crime. It's about time taxi aggregators took some renewed, stringent steps to make sure that cabs are pliable by women any time of day without having to worry about their own safety and well-being. Monster cabbies need to get off the road. A News 9 report.
Well, that's quite shocking indeed. Most of us bank on our cabbies to get us to where we want to, and safely at that. If at all, experiences like this coming to light, dime a dozen of them, time and again, what are we really talking about? Ola, Uber upping up their security features. Why is it taking time for them to actually come up with something really concrete where they have possibly all facilities for their customers, barring security? So that's what's disappointing. To tell us more on that, we have the victim herself joining us. We have Ashwini in the panel to tell us, to speak to us a little bit in depth of what is it that we want, you may want as a woman after this sort of experience. How is it that you may want the cab aggregators to possibly up their game? To tell us more on what sort of dynamics Ola and Uber are, Ola and Uber have, and how can they better their system, or what sort of monopoly it is. To tell us that, we have Amar Narayan, our former Transport Commissioner, joining us. Thank you, sir. Dr. Shom Datta, co-chair, NASSCOM Product Council, as well as a hidden activist. I see glimpses of activism inside her. Shom has a lot to say about Ola and Uber and their services. We also have our psychologist joining us. We have Dr. Ruchi Gupta. Thank you so much. We have our News 9 reporter Ria, who's extensively followed up on this particular case here, joining us as well to tell us more. We have Arya, a student, as well as Shreya joining us. Thank you so much. Let me first speak to the victim herself. I know we've heard Ashwini talking at length through the day to various, of course, News9 brought to light, highlighted this entire issue. But we'd like to hear it from you yet again, Ashwini, if you don't mind. I don't know if you're traumatizing you, but we just want you to shame the person, shame the company, so that anybody facing such an incident tomorrow should be bold enough like you to come and speak up, because then you'll have that many drivers doing whatever they want and just taking a walk. If you've ever, as an audience, ever boarded a cab, felt violated in whatever sense, if you felt unsafe while traveling inside a cab, then you've got to call us. If you think that there is more that needs to be done to protect women from these monster cabbies, it's also about time that you do stand up for such women and also those who are tormented by such perverts. Do share your views with us on those lines on 080-2236-030201. WhatsApp us on the given numbers. Coming back to Ashwini. Ashwini, I'd really like you to share your experience once again with us, with all our panelists here, so that we can evaluate as to what is really the crux of the problem here.
Want me to talk
Please do,
about,
if you're okay. I know you're tired and you've said it
no,
time
that's
and again.
fine. Probably they haven't heard it. Yeah, so like I said, I boarded the cab from Koramangala to my home back in Koppa Road, Begur, and yeah, it's just 5 kilometers from the point I boarded the cab. That's from Koramangala. It's not even 5 kilometers when he stopped on the pretext of a roadblock and of reversing, and he didn't get off the cab. Obviously he didn't want to, but he just looked back and he came forward between the seats and he just grabbed my chest. Yeah, and he started groping and molesting, and
Why
I
did he do
screamed.
that?
I have no clue, and he gave no indication that he's going to do something like this.
Well, I mean, obviously, how would you expect him to give you an indication?
Yeah,
But what,
I mean, he was actually
like moving car or
no.
what?
He said, there's some block ahead, a road block,
Okay.
and so he said he has to reverse. He stopped and he acted like on the pretext of reversing, he stopped.
Huh.
He looked back, okay, and when he looked back and he just pretended to reverse, he leaned forward and he just grabs me. Yeah, so it just came onto me all of a sudden, and I was like, I started yelling. I froze. I didn't even know how to react. I'm someone who probably punched someone. I've done it in the past, but I froze then. I felt really helpless. There was not one soul on the road. And when I started yelling at him, he didn't stop. And I again yelled at him, and then I got off. I literally
What do you
jumped
mean
off.
he did stop? Like he literally, bent,
Yes, he's
bent
still
over
groping.
and continued
Yeah,
to do what he
yeah,
was doing.
he was groping.
Even in spite of you
Yeah,
shouting.
and then I had to. Yeah,
You hit his hand.
yeah,
pushed
and then
him
I
away.
pushed him away, and I just jumped off the cab. And then he took a turn, and he started following me. And the way he was coming at me is like very slowly. Like I started walking. I felt he's going to get off, and I don't know if he had anything
You
on
got
him.
off the cab.
I got off the cab.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And you're saying this is at what 2 a.m.
yes, 2:15, 2:30. Yeah. So yeah, I started walking. And this guy turns his cab and he starts driving it on my side of the road, on the wrong side. Yeah, he's coming slowly. I freaked out, and at that point of time there was a passerby, so I stopped him. Yeah, he was on a moped. I stopped him and I started screaming. I said, "This guy is like trying to harm me," and that guy just heard me out for 3 seconds and he just zoomed off. That's the only soul who was there. And then I don't know, probably his presence, whatever, for 3 seconds made a difference. And then I started yelling at this guy again. I said, if you don't leave now, I'm going to take it to another level. I'm going to complain any which way. It's not going to be good. And I don't know what happened. He just zoomed off. He just zoomed. I think he got a little scared because I started screaming. And then I was literally shivering from head to toe. I mean, I don't know.
You spoke to him in Hindi.
No, I was like talking in Kannada and English.
Okay.
But he never spoke. He never spoke to me back, and he never spoke in Kannada. I mean,
I'm saying the guy, the passerby. You spoke to him in.
I spoke to him in Kannada.
Okay.
So, but he didn't
say a
look-
word.
Yeah, he didn't say a word.
And what did the driver do? So he was following you, and then
Yes,
what did he do?
and then I literally, when that guy zoomed off, I started screaming all the more. Because I felt really helpless. There was one person who I found, and even he
And
went
this
off.
cabbie was still following you.
Yeah, that was when he probably felt a little scared, because he probably expected another person to come by, or So
So he
just-
left.
He left. That's when he left. And then I screamed and said, you know, I'm going to take this up like very seriously. You have no idea. And I'm like screaming. Okay, I said, just leave. Like, leave from here. And he just zoomed off.
My God.
And then I started walking, and thankfully there was a hospital which was open. That road, Bego Road, is pretty isolated. Like, you know, it has a whole lot of shops.
Yeah.
But then post 11:30, 12, there's nothing. It's practically, it's on the outskirts.
Yeah.
Post Silkport, Bilbnali. But this hospital which was open, yeah, that probably like saved me like that day. Like, I mean, whatever.
You're saying there was
saved me
somebody
from
nearby to
harm.
at least
Yeah.
attend to you.
Yes.
Whatever said and done, you could have run.
Saved me from no
run
harm. Yeah.
inside. Yeah.
Yeah. I walked like probably 5 to 6 to 7 minutes, and then I ran inside, and I asked security to let me inside. And then I waited till one of my friends could come.
It's
So-
traumatizing.
yes,
it can
it is.
really put you. I don't know. It can really traumatize you if you're,
And
especially if you're taken off guard at 2 a.m. If you're, you know,
Exactly.
in a cab. I get so paranoid to actually board a cab post 11. I can imagine at 2 a.m. what would have really gone through you, and you're really jumping off your cab, getting out on the
and
streets
that road
at
has
2 a.m.
nothing. And the worst part, I mean, you know, the very next day there was a procession happening on that road. That road usually has a lot of there were so many people, there were cops. If the same thing had to happen, I mean, what I'm trying to say is if you extend the deadline, probably the crime rates, such things would reduce a lot.
I don't
You
know
know,
if a deadline extension is going to add.
I mean,
to it,
I don't know,
Add
but-
to the menace or curb the menace. I really don't know.
I
We
don't know,
can't
but
really
then
say that.
what I'm saying is this wouldn't have happened on that road that day. Like, I know a lot of these things happen at any point of time during the day with a lot of people, irrespective of age and, you know, what they're clad in, and, you know, it doesn't matter what they're
Yeah,
wearing,
yeah.
and, you know.
Exactly. I mean,
yeah.
but-
But what I'm saying is this adds on to it. Like, you know, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, whether, see, cops are supposed to be there, irrespective of
Yeah, there
deadlines
was
or
no
not,
one.
they are supposed to be patrolling the area
Yeah,
constantly.
there was
and
no
what is
one.
all the more shocking is more than the cab driver's behavior, the moped guy's reaction.
Exactly,
He just
that
takes
is
off
what-
after
yeah.
listening to you, seeing a frantic girl running
I
on the
was
road,
so
asking for help,
frantic.
and the guy just takes
I was
off.
so frantic. I'm asking him to stop. I'm telling him, I'm pointing out and saying, this guy's misbehaving. And I'm like, and this guy's like, he's looking at his reaction, he's still following me slowly. And then that guy just zooms off. He just hears it. Probably he got scared. Like, he didn't want to get into it, like
What
get into the middle of
rubbish.
it.
What
But that's
rubbish, he
what
didn't
it
want to
is.
get
Like,
into it.
yeah.
Uh,
But that's what it seemed like. He just zoomed off. It was just exactly 3 to 4 seconds. He heard me out and he zoomed off.
What has it done to you? I mean, we are glad you're safe. I mean, as much as people outside are probably watching this and saying, you know, oh, thank God she's out of it, you know, thank God, that's all it is. No, that's the reaction. I'm being honest.
yeah,
That's what most
yeah.
people react like, oh, that's all.
Yeah.
Wasn't what happened really. But what has it really done to you?
My friends know. I mean, I'm having mood swings. As long as I'm distracted, it's fine. But then, you know, I think I told this before also. I was sexually molested as a kid when I was 5 years. Okay, so that instilled a deep fear in me. It marred my confidence, and I grew up hating men, trust issues. You know, I became very defensive by nature. I still am. Yeah, but I mentally blocked that. You know, this kind of brought it all, like, you know, it was like, I can't tell you, it kind of all
those
those hidden things and all those things,
insecurities all
yes,
came
it
back.
again resurfaced, and I'm like, I'm having mood swings again, and I felt really helpless at, you know, on that day. I felt the same kind of helplessness is what I'm saying, just on that day after all these years. I just froze. I didn't know what to do. Like, I was so scared. I was like petrified.
You filed a complaint immediately.
Yes,
yeah?
next
and the
day.
cops took you seriously at least?
Yes, they
Yeah.
did. They did. They've been very helpful, cooperative. But then again, so I heard someone. I overheard someone saying, "Is she genuine?" Like,
Yeah, but that's a question I'm telling you.
Yeah, probably that comes
You know, I've
from
seen
because-
this very often. Girls who are smart, who are bold, who dress well,
Yeah,
and who probably have.
Yeah.
I may be sounding so nasty, but people with colored hair like mine, you know, we can't have troubles.
Yeah.
If at all we do complain of
That's
something,
our fault.
apparently, oh, natak kar rahi hai.
Yeah, yeah.
Drama, all that
Yeah,
is drama,
yeah.
and I've seen
Yeah,
that across.
I
Okay,
know,
so
I
that
know what
don't
you
even
meant, yeah.
bother.
No, I
Don't even
didn't,
bother.
I
yeah.
didn't, but,
A victim is supposed to be looking like a victim as well. What theory is that? Yeah. You know?
Exactly.
So,
I know.
is somebody asking if you're genuine or not, don't worry about it. Apparently,
I
just
didn't
because you went
answer.
out for a party itself, you're not genuine.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you
During
went
that
out. No,
time,
girls
yeah.
don't go out. Indian girls are supposed to be,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I know.
supposed to be at home. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to go out like that. How can you step out at 2 o'clock? Tell me you were not wearing sleeveless. Maybe
I
you
was.
attracted attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
It was my fault.
It was your fault. See, that's what they want you to believe. That's what they want you to believe. It's a sorry state of
Probably,
affairs.
yeah, that's why probably a few of them probably end up withdrawing their cases, because at the end of the day, they feel it was their fault. They feel that pressure, and then it becomes a case which is not genuine.
All that said and done, how did Ola react? Did you try and get
Oh
in
my
touch with
God,
them
Ola,
immediately?
typical. I mean, yeah, when I call them, the security team is like, okay, we'll have him terminated and blacklisted. That's what they did. The lady called me next day. Even she said the same thing. And when I asked them how does that help me or anyone else, I mean, how does your how do you end up hiring such people? So they're like, we did a background verification check and he had no criminal records. And they never offered me any. All they said, they didn't say, okay, we are going to file
Look
a
into
FIR,
it.
look into it.
Nothing.
Nothing. Or we'll make sure this doesn't happen again. No, nothing. You file a FIR, we'll extend our support. That's all they said.
That's all.
And when I spoke about TV9 and anything, TV9, they cut me off. They were only supportive and about the FIR thing. Yeah. So.
They cut you off as in you said.
Yeah,
that
I
you're
said
gonna
I'm
go to the
going.
media
Yeah, I
and
said
you'll
yes.
bring this up.
Yeah, they didn't. They just cut me
Comment
off
on
both the
that, yeah.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because they don't want you to speak about it. And no company would want to, bring out
So
their...
yeah, at Ola, no, not helpful at all.
And what other choice you have other than Ola, Uber? That's the funny part, right? The fact that these two companies are literally have monopoly here,
Yeah,
like, in Bangalore. The kind of money that they're possibly earning out of all of us, why don't we deserve some sort of security? And a lot of people, they say that, actually when we were speaking to a lot of people to try and bring them on board, arrange for a panel, a lot of them say, what, yeah, one ride out of 1,000 rides possibly is a bad experience. Are you really trying to say that all cabbies are bad? No, they're not all cabbies are bad. One experience, one such, it happens. It happens. So if it happens, is it okay to actually... should we really let it go if it happens? Since it's happening once in a purple moon, is it really okay is the question, right? We speak a little more on that to the rest of our panelists after a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you've ever felt unsafe while traveling in a cab, Ola, Uber, whatever cab that may be, please do join in, do share your experience with us. And if you think that there needs to be done, something more needs to be done to protect women from these monster cabbies, also about time that you come forward, stand up for these women who are tormented by these perverts, and somehow no fear has gone down in these, potential perverts are the ones, absolutely no fear, in spite of the media actually harping on it. Nobody seems to be getting the point at all. If you faced any such situation, please do call us on the lines flashing on your television screens. You can also tweet using the hashtag MonsterCabbies, also narrating your story. We could take it up if you want to, or you can also tweet under anonymity. Coming back, Ashwini, Ola did not react to you. So you filed a complaint immediately, therefore.
Yes.
After your complaint, has Ola responded at least?
Not really. They never called me post that.
They never called you post that. So what
They
sort of
just-
customer service are we talking about here?
They just call me. See, I call them post this incident that night, the same night. The minute I reached home, I called them to report it. So he said someone will be calling me from the safety team. And before that, he made it very clear that they do a background check and this is how they've hired him. That's it. So the next day, this lady calls me and tells me the same thing, and she says they've terminated him and blacklisted him, and make sure you file a FIR and we'll support you throughout. Like, I mean,
So yeah, okay, you
whatever
filed
you
an
do.
FIR. They should have at least had.
Exactly.
Now,
That's it, nothing
considering,
else.
possibly all channels are carrying it from this
Yeah.
morning. They should
Yeah.
have at least, the least they could have done is actually, we tried,
Yeah.
I tried calling the PR as well as the marketing head, no response, no, they have not answered the call,
No.
neither have they called back. Clearly they know that,
Yeah.
you know, they're going to be bombarded with questions. But that's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous
is.
because Ola is Bangalore's own. It's not even, it's not a foreign company, right? It's a local company. Uber is still, I'm not saying it's they get any, you can't discount them, but I'm just saying that at least Ola, for the fact that they're a local, you know, the heart is in this city because they started from here. They should be responsible enough to speak to their own
Yeah.
customers, who are their,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
city goers from where they started. They should be true to their own own city. That's all I
true.
can say. It's sad that they haven't spoken to you. They haven't called you. None of it.
No,
Right.
sure.
Okay. So the issue is obviously much bigger than just what you narrated. Like you're looking at, you know, absolute failure from the side of Ola. No customer service, customer care altogether, no security whatsoever, and then we're talking about how tormented you are. Then we're talking about the motor guy who actually passing you. You are asking for help, and he just looks at your face and just shoots off, right? So we're talking about cops not being present at the spot. You walked for almost 10 minutes with absolutely nothing in sight, right? You have absolutely nowhere to go. Did
Yes,
you try
yes.
calling a cop immediately?
I called because the battery on my phone was like really less. That the only good thing that happened in the cab was I asked him for a charger. Okay, so I think he thought I can't call anyone. That was another thing. Yeah.
Oh my
so,
God,
Yeah.
look at
So
that.
so it charged for 3%, and the minute this happened, I got off and I called my friend who lives close by. I told him where I am, and it went off. Post that. So I was lucky that way. Yeah. So
My God, imagine being, you know, threatened like that. Somebody's, and then you're getting off, walking on the
then,
road with
yeah,
a
yeah.
dead phone. That's
was
scary.
yeah.
That's
So
really
that
scary. And
was-
you're telling me that you went out, you had your gig, you had your event, you had all of that. So coming back at 2 o'clock, I can only understand what sort of, you know, what state of mind you could have been in. And then this must have taken you completely off guard. It would have given you a nervous breakdown. I would have had a nervous breakdown because I feel sometimes I have a problem. I would have definitely lost it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you're safe. I'm so glad you're safe for you to come here, sit down and talk to us. But considering this is a larger problem, I'd like all of you to give your bits of it. Sir, you've been the former transport commissioner. Your take on a sudden influx of Olas and Uber cabs, or possibly other cab agencies in Bengaluru that we're not forget traffic. You know, every second vehicle on the road is a Ola or an Uber cab. So when the company has grown to that magnitude, why is it so difficult for them to actually, you know, give better customer service, give protection to their customers in the first place? We don't know what's going wrong here. Where do you think is the problem?
First of all, I appreciate the boldness exhibited by Ashwini.
Yeah.
It's a very unfortunate incident. These cab companies have been given strict directions from the court also. When the rules were formed, they challenged this in the court. The court upheld several things, among which one is the panic button. They didn't want any regulations to be put forth before these private operators. So the government took it very seriously, and we have framed very cogent and comprehensive rules to protect the interest of the travelers.
So you're saying a panic button was
Yeah,
proposed?
the panic button has to be present in the cab.
Right.
It should be provided.
Where? I don't see
If
any,
it is not
any
provided,
cabs having a panic button.
if it is not provided, it is a violation of the terms of reference or conditions which have been given to the
We're so
cab.
glad you mentioned that to us.
Yes.
Is it a compulsion? Every
it is
Ola, Uber,
compulsory.
or every cab for that matter?
It is the rule which has been framed by the government.
When
and,
did this come about?
it was in the India 2016
Right.
under the aggregators rules,
Right.
and it has been upheld by the High Court also in the interest of the passengers.
So it's
Okay.
been a year since the rule came about.
Yes.
I don't see, all of you all are ardent cab users. Do you see panic buttons anywhere?
They have to provide.
Yeah. So
They have
then,
to
then
provide.
how
It's
they,
mandatory.
then why isn't the transport department doing their checks or finding them or doing all, you know, what's necessary?
It's mandatory that they have to provide the panic button, and they have to take even the feedback of the customer sometime.
Yeah.
But that was struck down by the High Court. So supposing we want a feedback to be taken by a passenger, it was struck down because they challenged that also.
Saying what?
Saying that it is not correct to take the feedback of the passenger.
Feedback
And
of the drive.
No, feedback about the drive, yes.
Exactly. So now they have all that. No, they have those ratings.
Yeah,
You
there's
can rate
ratings,
the driver.
and even they have to maintain a register. We had suggested for a maintenance of a register, which was struck down by the court. Anyway, now they are taking the feedback.
But
they
the
are giving
court
the
struck
rating
down
also.
the fact that, okay, but did the court did it uphold the fact that panic buttons
Yes,
is a
yes,
must?
yes, it's a
Yeah, that's
must.
also, we rest our case there. There itself we know they're flouting rules.
Yes, they are really flouting the rules, and government has taken it very seriously because there were a number of cases like this which were happening now and then.
Right.
And then in the interest of the women travelers, in fact, as a transport commissioner, I had suggested pink taxis, like in Jaipur. The taxis driven by women only, for women only. Women drivers driven for women only. If the woman agrees to take another passenger along with her, maybe a male passenger, only with her consent you can drive in that cab. So that was shelved. I think due to some factors it was
Lack
shelved.
of,
Yeah, the
women-
safety
lady
and security.
drivers,
Yeah,
I'm presuming.
yes, yeah. The safety and security of the women passengers is very seriously taken by the transport department. But the thing is,
No,
this is
sir, I don't
I'm
think
telling you,
anything's
no.
being done.
No, this is a lapse on the part of the cab driver. See, there are some psychological issues also. I think Dr. Som will narrate on that. See, when a human being, when he is not behaving as a human being, and then he becomes a monster, and this kind of situations do arise. But for that, the government has made adequate provisions within the cab to alert the police by pressing the panic button.
Panic button, an absolute compulsion. Inside cabs, there has to be a panic button placed. But I have used cabs several times, have not found a panic button even in one cab, not even a single cab. Which means there itself, the cab companies are flouting rules. The fact that women are raising their voice and are coming out saying that this happened to me, that happened to me, the cab aggregators are like, we're going to deal with it, don't worry. If you file an FIR and then we'll follow up. What does that even mean? The fact that you're giving them that kind of business, you're using their service. Without you, they do not exist. You're giving them that kind of, you're the reason why Ola or Uber is possibly as big as it is here today or anywhere in the world, because it's our necessity and they're providing the service. So if they are providing the service, they've got to come up with features that will give you enough and more safety. What's the point in going, getting a cab? It's convenient, but is it safe is a bigger question, right? It's possibly convenient. You book I was actually amazed. I wasn't a great cab user earlier, but at least over the last 2-3 weeks, I've somehow got the hang of it. I downloaded the app and I was quite excited. I said, wow, 2 minutes your cab is there. Just imagine, they're so quick, they're so fast. That means how many drivers are under them? So if you're having that kind of database, if you're having that many drivers under you, what thousands, lakhs of drivers who are working, lakhs of drivers who are working for you or under you, isn't there some sort of responsibility on the part of Ola or, let's keep Uber aside for now, let's, focus on Ola, considering yours as an Ola cab. Isn't it Ola's responsibility to take up or do something? What they say when we asked them, they said, they did not have a criminal record, so we can't really do much about that. Does that mean that, all Ola cabs are safe? Because do all cab drivers need to have a criminal past for them to actually act presently? Dr. Som was saying something on those lines. We'll be back after a quick break. Please stay right there. Welcome back. If you've ever felt unsafe while traveling in a cab, and if you think that more needs to be done in these cabs to up the security, please do call us on the numbers flashing on your television screens. Do share your experience with us. If at all you've had any sort of experience with an Ola cab or an Uber cab or any other cab service for that matter, please do call in and give us your details. Coming back to Dr. Som, Som, you were saying how cab aggregators are, don't take up any responsibility while they actually need to, because the law says that. if you can, how do you analyze this entire situation here?
Right. So,
Where is the problem?
So firstly, thank you, Nabila, and kudos to you for being here, putting such a brave face up. You know, it just goes to show what a hell of a woman she is, right? Keeping that in mind, let me give you a few facts, which is very, very important for all of us to know. So firstly, they do have an emergency button. So the panic button is not located within the cab, it is in the app. So when you go to, typically what happens is, due to lack of knowledge, we just go book the ride and we forget to look at my account section and then go back where the driver call section is there and there is an emergency button. So typically what happens is, due to our unawareness, we often don't have, like you said, you know, it was unlucky for her that her phone was not fully on charge. But now, even if you have an emergency button, if somebody is groping you, it becomes extremely difficult for you to reach out to your phone, then press the button.
Get to the button.
Exactly, and do it.
And
So-
if you're like, her phone died.
Exactly. So while of course it's important for us that when we are availing any public transport, we have our phone on full charge, and we do also have our emergency calls activated. But let's be very, very, absolute in this fact that when an incident like this happens, the first thing that happens to you is your body and your mind goes into shock. And in a state of shock, you can't use logic. It's the emotion that overrides the logic. Now, coming to the point of aggregation, until 5 years back, Bangalore had close to about 115 different cab providers, right? White Feather, this, that. You could avail a taxi service. A lot of incidents would happen even then. Like if you actually go and talk to the Koramangala police station or the Indiranagar police station, they will tell you about a lot of incidents that happened then. It wouldn't come to the limelight because there were not entrepreneurs or aggregators that were actually providing the service, and they didn't even have the opportunity of an app. So you would call somebody, you know, book a cab, and then you can't track the guy. He's gone. Foof, he's gone. The good thing today is at least that you can track the guy, right? We are able to talk about it. So that's an advantage. The disadvantage is this. Ola has currently close to 5 lakh drivers. They operate in 102 cities. They are a Wi-Fi enabled cab, and they have entertainment services. All they require to do is have a vigilance in terms of a camera in the app, and then monitor it from wherever they are. It's that simple as that. So when you see a deviation, when you have people observing it and there is a deviation, you see somebody yelling, screaming, immediately you know that it's an emergency. So if she's not in a position to press that emergency button, you do it on her behalf. Now, which means that can the aggregators brush off this incident? Of course they can't. But the problem is, see, you have to also understand the judiciary of this country does not allow them to file a legal case because it is only impediment on the victim to do that. They can only go ahead and take action on the driver based on the legal case that is filed. I'll give you another example. When you lose your phone, when you call the service provider, all they can do is they can track and tell you where the phone is. They can't file an FIR on your behalf.
Correct.
And for them to track it, they need you to give them a FIR copy, because you have to understand the judiciary also has to function in that
there's a system.
tandem.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
a system, so everybody has to follow that. Now, from a customer service provider who is not in the position of the victim, how much of empathy do you expect? First of all, they're scared. What are these customer service providers? Typically an outsourced company, people like in a call center who are picking up the phone, answering hundreds of phones, they don't know what to do. They're not trained to handle an incident like an Ashwini's or be empathetic towards her or guide her. They've been given a rule book, say yes to this, say no to this, say follow. So they are pretty much like an IVR, a manual IVR, right? So they're operating based on given data points.
Yeah.
Now, when you are such a large aggregator, the simple thing that you need to do is have a camera installed so that if she's not in a position to press an emergency button, you can take action based on what you
But
see.
who's sitting and monitoring those cameras? You know what? What we found out is
Right.
that apparently some 3 people sit down in the office and are monitoring the
See,
entire city.
that's the question we need to follow. See, it's like this. When you say that's the number they have to increase, because if they have to operate in a country like India, and let me tell you this, rapists and molesters and sexual offenders necessarily don't come with a criminal record. They come with a criminal mindset. So the mindset is what leads to perversion. So you will never, why would they hire someone who already has a criminal record?
Exactly.
Now, if you're in a situation where you of course, and how can she know that something like this is going to happen? They have to stop, cutting down on cost in terms of security and rather invest in security. What
Correct.
they're right now doing is they're investing in the number of cabs, they're investing in technology, they're investing in competition and marketing. I suggest Stop taking up the battle against Uber, because at the end of the day, they're still a foreign country, and the rules and regulations of the country, the judiciary does have a lot of opportunities to strike them off if they need to. But Ola is an Indian company, so they need to spend more money on security so that they can create a better mind share. I think the best way to market is to have a better security option, not spend money on hoardings, on TV advertisements, and on TVF.
Very true.
If you make your services secure, remember, you're going to have customers for a lifetime, right? And the other thing, right?
And they've already handicapped us, right? Because
Absolutely.
Honestly, they have. Because I used to drive a lot. I saw how easy it was to actually book, and your car would come in 2 minutes.
See,
I don't
the
need
good
to wait.
thing they have
So
done-
It's
See,
completely changed my behavioral
Nabila, the
pattern.
good
Like I
thing
don't use my car anymore.
You know,
now.
we have to
So
give
they've-
kudos to this, right? There's one thing that they have done. See, in a city like Bangalore, where traffic is a menace, if you have thousands and thousands of cars going on and everybody taking their own car, they have a problem. So one thing they did is transport as an industry was extremely disorganized. So the likes of Ola and Uber have organized this industry. In the process, they have lost out on few vital facts when it comes to security. So good things they have done, we have to give kudos, because they made our life a lot more simpler in terms of availing transport, you know, less utilization of fuel, more economic and environmental friendly. However, security is equally important. The other important thing is, if
And going
anybody
by the
has said,
fact that everybody is talking about women's safety, women's security, at least since the Nirbhaya incident,
Absolutely.
they're supposed to be, upping their game.
absolutely,
Then
and after the Uber incident that happened in Delhi, right,
Yes.
where you know, it was a
Yeah,
rape,
yeah.
like for God's sake, somebody dozes off and you take advantage of the woman. The other thing which people have been talking about, and I heard during the discussion, is that, oh, it's one-off cases. Dude, even a murder happens one-off. So in a country which has a population of 1.2 billion, even if 10 murders happen, you can't say, no, it was just a murder, so we overlook it. Can't be like that. Even a single instance of sexual offense which comes under the criminal, criminal procedure, the IPC, there is a whole chapter that is dedicated on women's safety and regulation. How can people overlook that and not try and make a big deal out of it? But one thing we need to keep in mind, you know, when we say, hey, let's go put their pictures up there, let's advertise in the paper, talk in the media, do you know what is the retention of the human mind? Not more than 10 minutes. The same guy's picture you have shown, you ask them to remember him tomorrow, they will not remember. So the issue has to be handled
very
at a
honestly
grand-
speaking,
Yeah.
the Ola and Uber has faced situations like this in the past. as well.
Absolutely.
And all the while we've seen them keeping mum.
Absolutely.
Shut.
Yeah.
They will not respond to the media. They will not talk to the media. They will not. Yes, we are looking into it.
You know why?
That's all, because they also know by the next day it's possibly going to be forgotten. Let them take
Absolutely,
it. It's fine.
that's
what,
one.
What else can we do?
Second thing is most of the employees of Ola or an Uber don't even have the authority to talk to the media. The spokespeople are typically the founders who are too busy thinking about raising the next round of money and forgetting less about the security of the passengers. And while this has happened to Ashwini, let me tell you something. There's a friend of mine who's a guy and who has been sexually offended in the car. So while that incident may be one, like hers may be 1 in a million, that may be 1 in 10 million,
Yeah.
but it happens to men too.
Yeah.
And not only that, he was not only violated, he was mugged. And then he was told, get out. Otherwise, he took out his, a Victoria Knox knife and said, I'm going to cut you off. What does a man do in a situation like that? Security is imperative, irrespective of gender. And an incident like Ashwini's cannot happen again if we don't make it mandatory. Now, two things you can do. One, go all out against them and say, we are objecting to take a single Ola cab.
Boycott them.
Boycott them.
But how?
It. See, that's the thing.
Like,
That's the
they
power.
made us handicapped. I just told you, we've forgotten how to do. I've not pulled
Nabila.
out my car for days because it's so quick and easy.
like
no
this-
parking issues.
Right.
That's the biggest,
Nabila, it's
relief.
like this, right? Every time there has been a revolution that has happened, it's happened with a boycott. And that has taught people, like you say, need is the mother of invention.
Yes.
Need is also a teacher when you kind of go out there and learn things, right? It's not that you've forgotten how to drive, or maybe you'll take another public transport which is more safe. Now, completely letting them go off it? Of course not. Can the media take up the issue? And, she's already done an FIR. You put this man to justice? Yes. But will it stop? If you ask me, no. Sadly, the answer is no, unless and until there are strict bylaws that compels them to make vigilance mandatory for cabs.
So even if we possibly, like you said, we're needy of it, and we
Absolutely.
are, right? We are
Absolutely.
needy of it.
Absolutely.
Why? That's when the government should step in and take a bold decision.
That's
that, you
right.
know what, we'll have to fine them. They have to fine them heavily for whatever has happened.
That's what
And
they did,
the
right?
fact that
They
they don't have
boycotted
those
Uber.
buzzer, those panic buttons in cars, there itself it's a big sign for the transport department to actually fine them heavily. They're supposed to be. In fact, the other day when I was using a cab, the cab was in shambles, sir. It was literally falling off. I couldn't, I was worried if I'll reach home safe, and it was also late.
Right.
And I was just so, all through the route, and the guy had no idea about the route. He was asking me the direction. He said, should I go right? I'm saying, look at the app and see, app is not working. It's not working somehow. He's trying to refresh it, pretending it's not working.
See, that's the barrier of technology. You have to understand that technology on one side has enabled man to move faster in many directions, but it can also disable you in the need of hour.
Yes.
Right? And it's not that, you know, even with the internet usage we have or whatever, is it all hunky-dory like you have it in United States or in Europe? No. We have tremendous internet issues, and they're dependent on an app to give them directions. Not all drivers know all routes. Now, the cab aggregators are so hungry to make money. Do you think they're going to train the 5 lakh drivers they have under their payroll to ensure that we are kind of taken care of? No, they will not do that. So, and it's not that the boycott has not happened. The boycott has happened. The government did take a stance against Uber.
I remember Uber was boycotted.
Imagine what
in
happened.
Delhi. Yeah.
Even when they did a price rise, they were boycotted. So if price rise can be boycotted, why can't sexual molestation be?
Absolutely.
So it's not that it's not a possibility.
Quickly taking a caller. We have Ria calling in from Airport Road. Go on, Ria. Priya. Yes,
Yeah,
Priya,
I'm
please
really
go on.
proud that this young lady, you know, has come on media without any kind of inhibition.
Yes.
And I just want to say that it doesn't depend on your age or whether you're dressed up well or which part of the day or night it is, because it's the mindset of these drivers. There are too many of them, and they are like goons, let me tell you. We really literally sometimes say our prayers till we reach the airport or we come back from the airport after a late flight. And they are like a mafia. See, when the tariffs were low, they were all striking. How come none of them are now coming and, you know, kind of condemning this act of molestation?
Absolutely.
And why can't they, you know, kind of confiscate this guy's vehicle and take away his license? There should be some stringent, you know, some real harsh punishment and stringent rules. What type of screening are they doing? See, Kumaraswamy says that, you know, it's a livelihood for many and he wants to take over as a service provider. What kind of livelihood for these kind of goons who are coming in from different districts into Bangalore? And, you know, some of them literally stink. Their body language is so bad. When you get in, they are, you know, kind of touching themselves in all awkward places, making you feel like you just want to get out. And sick is the word. And I feel, you know, these kind of things like Ola being a service provider, the easiest thing they did was terminate. So in what way are they taking the onus? And after some time, this guy might go and join up Uber or some other
Absolutely.
private
That's what
cab
they do.
agency.
The moment one
Absolutely.
cab service
Absolutely.
boycott, blacklists them, they'll probably go join another place. Or for them, it doesn't matter. There are multiple service like Ola and Uber are the main ones. But if Uber does not want, they'll go to Ola, vice versa. So
Yeah,
for
too
them,
many of them. I think that has to be cut down.
and
by some
I
strict
happened to
ways
speak
of
to one
selecting them.
cabbie. He says he makes almost a lakh, almost close to a lakh, about 80,000 to a lakh a month.
Yep.
Look at that money.
Yeah.
No wonder it's so lucrative for these men to come
Absolutely.
from all over. They're coming from remote areas, villages, from learning to drive
Yes.
in like a week or 2 weeks, and then immediately getting their license and joining
See,
an Ola
it's
Uber.
not a bad thing that people's economic status is improving, but it's equally an important thing that safety and security of individuals, agnostic of danger, cannot be compromised. Right? You can't be like gender bias, men or women. No, it is security which is imperative for all. And you know, whether outside or workplace, even the most sophisticated people, you know, let me tell you something. It's got nothing to do with literate and educated. Mindset of an individual, the cerebrum, you know, of an individual is dependent on the value system. So if a TVF's Arunabh Kumar can do that to an employee, and so can somebody like, you know, Mahesh Murthy, who's an investor, how do you say that only a literate or an uneducated guy can do it? It's inherent in some people because of the value system. So how do you forego that? Is by having more stringent security measures. Like, you know, unfortunately in our country you can't pelt them with stones, Ashwini, no matter how much you and I would love it. It's not possible. Even if you hang them to death, nobody will get to know about it, right? The ideal way of doing
Because
it is...
apparently that's common.
Yes, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
so even if you have, people forget, right? Another guy would spring up somewhere, he's taken birth, and another 15 years down the line, he'll be a molester. He doesn't know who got hung into. So the value system itself has to become a very, very strong, stop telling your girls not to go out at night and tell your boys how to behave with girls, right? That has to change. Stop telling people what not to do and teach your boys what they should do, how they should conduct themselves. It's an equal, mindset that is leading to all of these issues. And the other thing, that man in the scooty who just scooted like off, right, is why? Everybody thinks the moment I get involved, I have an obligation.
Yeah.
It's time we change that. Make the aggregators become obligated towards us, because without us as consumers, they really don't have anything.
Exactly what I
They're
said. But we should be bold enough to boycott Ola.
That's what I'm
if
saying.
at all.
We
If you
should.
really want to
If
take
we're
up
all
a stand
here today,
you
we
should-
have to figure out
yeah.
a way to make that happen.
Yeah.
Either government enables us to do that, or we do that. If you see, today it may start with a
Also
few hundreds.
considering the fact that they did not even respond.
Yeah.
At least had they, spoken to her or,
Right.
or even, actually, ideally they're supposed to be coming, meeting you, sitting down with you, talking to you
Yeah.
over tea, making you feel comfortable, apologizing for what happened. That's what they're supposed to be doing, right? Because this is no small incident. Thanks to you, now all the women across the country now know exactly what happened and in what cab service, Ola. So, they should understand that, this is going to bring a black mark on them. So, we are supposed to be handling this better. What sort of PR are they doing really? I don't get
No, so
it.
the
I
thing
really
is this,
don't get it.
Ashwini is rare, who's been able to go out there, bear this trauma and talk. Do you think it's happening? So just let me give
And
you a
in spite
rate.
of she contacting them, telling them, also informing them, listen, News
is-
19
yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that, they're not scared.
They're not
They're least
scared
bothered,
because,
actually. It
because
doesn't
in
look like
instance,
they're
so
bothered at all.
they get a remark, or rather a comment about sexual harassment and molestation. 1 in every 5 drivers. That is the statistics. So I'm telling you, that's 1 in every 5 drivers. That is the statistics. So imagine, take into account they have 4,75,000 drivers to be precise.
My God.
Now do the math, 1 in 5. So which means if they had to kind of, reciprocate or rather respond to her, then how many they have been having to respond? This can all be kind of reeled out if the security system was to validate. See, a lot of times,
So if you're saying 1 in 5 drivers, in spite of that, they're not doing much.
Yes.
Meaning what? So they don't value their customers. That's what it means.
The two
they
things.
absolutely don't value their
There are two
customers.
things. One, there are a lot of times they think it's a small incident, and maybe the person in the cab is trying to exaggerate it. Let me tell you something, Nabila. How do they validate it? If they don't have live footage of an incident taking place, how do they validate what is accurate, what is inaccurate? Because of that lack, people like Ashwini suffer.
Do we have cameras inside cabs across
No.
the globe? Otherwise,
Yes, no, there is. US, it's mandated. So is in
just about to
Spain.
tell.
So is in Singapore. There are enabled, yes, in France
I
too.
think
There
they need
are
to do that.
camera enabled
They
cabs. There are camera. You can't get into a cab in New York City.
and
which
otherwise,
doesn't have
a
camera.
panic button, like you said, a panic button must be physically present in the
Yeah,
car.
Exactly. It should be physically present because
Like a
it's right
switch.
now in the app.
visible.
See, it's-
Physically visible,
visible.
yeah.
See, it's
we-
right now in the
working
the
one.
law is
Working.
such. They said they need to make it as a part of their service. So they made it as a part of the app.
Right.
But if it's not physically present in the car, but you have to also understand you can tamper with it. If it's physically
Working
present
one
in the
needs to be.
car, there is a way to tamper it. See, human mind is such, if it wants to be a devil, it'll find a way to do it. So that's why the security footage is so important, because you can't tamper with that. It is not in the hands. See, even if he turns off the camera, it can still record. So it's not in the hands of it's not in the hand of the cabbie to disable or enable anything. But even if you have a panic button physically present in the car, he can disable it.
For them to actually go forward and disable it and all of that will still deter them.
Yeah.
It'll deter them from actually doing
No,
something
some
like that.
people
There
don't.
itself you have.
Some people don't. Psychological, studies say that most of the rapists actually scheme and think for a long period of time, and they look for the right situation.
Opportunity.
Absolutely.
And they saw it with her.
They saw it
Because
with her.
She said, I want a charger, I want a wire. She didn't have a phone.
An empty road. A
Yeah.
woman, a woman vulnerable, lack of, support. Let's go ahead with it. And maybe he's thought about it 1,000,000 times in
Oh my
his
God,
dreams.
this kind of gives you the jitters because I tell you, just day before yesterday, I was traveling by cab. It was late and I wanted my phone. There was no charge. The guy is trying to refresh his app saying, no, it's not working. he's telling me मैं नया हूँ Bangalore में, मुझे पता नहीं है, I don't know the way, can you
Right.
show it to me?
Right.
And we were far, so I myself didn't know the way even. So I
Right.
said, I'm not too sure.
Right.
And the guy said, oh, you don't have battery. He said, why don't you check it on your phone?
Right.
You do your Google map and check.
Right, right.
So I pulled out the phone and then I was like, oh no, I don't have battery. I realized I didn't have battery. He said, oh, I have a charger. I'll give you a charger. He gave me a charger. I was like, okay, great. A power bank. The power bank was dead. His power bank was dead, but he still gave it to me. And I said, okay, yours is dead. Oh, okay, I didn't know. So you don't have charge. I said, no, I don't have charge. And then I said, just go. Like, I thought, okay, in my head, I pretty much know the way vaguely. But now, like, you know, listening to her story, the fact that I asked him for a charger is actually
No, but one thing we need to be, you know, precaution is always better than cure. So for all the women who are listening, or even the men, right, agnostic of gender, you gotta take care that you have your phone with enough battery, and you have these are things we
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah.
It's like this, right?
I agree.
It's very easy to blame, and it's very easy to do course correction after an incident has happened.
Correct.
But how do I take a little more precaution myself?
Yeah.
Right? We can take it so lightly, saying that, you know, we go out and we have just 3% battery. You can't even imagine if an accident happens, a normal road accident. You can't call anyone. You are spot dead.
This is that
And
I've
look
been
at the man, like
traveling
he's so
since 2
strategically
years.
stopped at a place where there was absolutely nobody,
course.
trying to reverse,
Yeah.
and then he knew that your battery was
Yeah.
low, so he jumped on at the opportunity in spite of whatever
Yeah.
background
Yeah.
check he made, you know, no criminal record, all of that, but he was waiting for an opportunity. Like you said, they don't need to have a criminal past. Criminal intentions
Just
is
mind.
more than enough.
More
how
than
how
enough.
does what is the criminal mind? How does it work? I think Dr. Ruchi Gupta, our psychiatrist, will be able to tell us a little more on the trauma as well as the criminal's mindset right after a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, coming back to Dr. Ruchi Gupta, please tell us what what trauma is it that women actually have to go through after post the event. We might take it lightly. We might talk about how women are tom-tomming about men touching them in a certain way, men abusing them in whatever way. Oh God, such a hot topic this is. Why so much fuss? Why so much fuss?
See, first thing we need to understand is that women who have to undergo this kind of experience or trauma, the first reaction what Ashwini had, that she froze. You know, that is the most common behavior or most common reaction which happens. So, and I think that freezing thing is the thing which is taken advantage by the perpetrator. He knows that, okay, fine, she is now not able to do, at least in her case, after some time she became aware of her, like, you know, again, it is like, you know, fight or flight. There are only two modes in which a person can function. Either they run away or they flight, or the third one is your frozen one. So these are the 3 F's which can happen. So in her case, she froze down, but after some time she realized that being in that state, it is going to be even more comfortable for that guy to do whatever he wants to do. So the next step, you know, maybe the adrenaline rush came up and she started screaming. And noise, they say noise is the best alarm. And that is why maybe panic button or whatever, the noise really, because that person is also somehow, you know, not in a conscious kind of a state, or he's so under the influence of his own instincts and opportunity. He has got an impulse and he has got an opportunity. Impulse is the sexual instinct or whatever, and opportunity is, you know, lonely road and a woman is alone, and the third thing is now she's showing a reaction of being frozen. So all the 3 things are going in his favor. So now, by God's grace, I would say that she started reacting, you know. So that is a very powerful emotion, and what women need to understand is that somehow, even, you know, I would say it is some kind of a visualization or some kind of a role play which even young girls should do. You know, if I am in that kind of situation, what am I supposed to do? In the sense, I don't know how we will react or respond when really that situation comes, but role playing in the sense, or visualization in the mind, is very important, because it is like how you train your mind. That you have to respond, you have to react, or you have to show this kind of a very powerful emotion. And I'm sure that her screaming and, you know, constant threats would have somewhere brought, you know,
would have
something.
scared him away.
Yeah.
In some
And
way.
the third
But
thing,
imagine, what is that behavior of his? Even after she screamed, got off the car, he's still following her to the wrong side of the road.
No, because he knows that there's nobody on the road. then the second thing which happened, I would say, in her favor was that another passerby, even though he was of no help, another individual, another human being on the road itself, so there would have been some sense in him that if this motor bike fellow has come, it is possible some other person could also come. And you know, the other thing what I feel is that these men have that that feeling in their mind. This particular incident is more goes in the favor of, you know, a rapist or a guy who would who is searching for an opportunity and his impulse. But it is not like, you know, that sadist guy kind of. It doesn't look like, or that, you know, that sadist guy who has come with that intention.
It doesn't look like
yeah,
that,
it doesn't look like that. So when he started following, whether the still opportunity is there, whether now nobody is coming, maybe now where will she go? You know, it's already 2 a.m. and there's no police, nothing is there. So there is still, opportunity is still there.
And the fact that she's coming at 2 a.m., he would have possibly assumed that you maybe, you know, must have, you know, had liquor, maybe.
Yeah, it is possible.
He must have thought that you are going to be
And in her case, that there is no battery. So there is no, because they keep on saying on the...
See, he picked up the sign as well.
Yeah. And
which means his mind is constantly looking for an opportunity.
Yeah, more than mind is looking at the opportunity, he has got it already. He is already scheming further. You know, how he can culminate into, you know, his full gratification. So now the other human being on the road, whether he helped or not, that's another question, but that would have been another deterrent. And what, in her case, because she has gone through a past history of trauma, okay, sexual trauma. Now, this particular incident, in her case, as she said, mood swings, some kind of a sad mood. And again, there is always in women, what I feel is that question, why me? Why me? Why I am getting this kind of people? Is there something wrong with me? Or I am doing something, or whether it was my mistake that, you know, those kind of people.
But why me, a lot of people make you feel like that. Our society makes you feel like that. Why did you go? Why did you do that? So that why me is actually that
kind of already embedded in
it's
you
put,
and
it's
everybody
put, it's, you know, pushed inside you.
Yeah.
And then you have
If
the
you're born
other,
a girl.
Yeah, it's very evident in our society, in our culture, where women, good girls don't travel at night, good girls don't wear clothes like this,
Very true.
So
That's
like
very
our own
true.
politicians say that, oh, why the hell she wears a skirt? If she, why people wear short clothes? Because why they want to, you know, gain attention. So people are having that mentality. So, but in that, saying all that, still, as she said, the prevention is the best medicine and best cure. Women need to become more aware of their surroundings and about themselves. And whenever they are in these kind of situations, they need to prepare themselves, in the sense all the youngsters who are sitting and listening, they must understand, okay, I can be in a similar situation, maybe not coming back from a party, it could be a family emergency, you are seeing somebody in the hospital, or you have to run to the hospital or something like that. And if you are alone in the cab, what all things? One, your mobile has to be fully charged. You have to be like pepper spray, whatever those things are there. Yeah. And the third thing is, like, you know, you have to be aware. I'll give you my personal example. I was traveling in Delhi, and because of certain things, I was not able to, I was very sleepy. So my uncle told me, come what may, and it was daytime. I was traveling at, you know, 4 p.m. He said, come what may in Delhi, never doze off in the cab. You know, you try. So, you know, being aware of your own self and of the surrounding is very, very important. I'm sure that, you know, these guys are just waiting for that opportunity, and, you know, where your own shield or your own awareness is a little down, they will attack you.
You know, it's so unfortunate that you're saying, you know, don't doze off in the cab. I mean, come on, why should we're giving them that kind of business? And yet we are supposed to be so vigilant. That's so unfortunate, right? Like, imagine they're earning because of us.
That's right.
And then we don't even get that kind of security and safety, that we can't even close our eyes for a minute inside a cab, which is like you know,
supposed to take you safe back home.
Yeah, you fall asleep in a cab normally. You fall asleep in your car. The moment you sit, if you have a safe driver, the first thing is you want to take a quick nap for 10 minutes inside the car. But look, they've left all those options out of the window for us. You can't possibly even dream of shutting your eyes for a minute.
That's right.
And that's what's scary, right? Ria, Deeman has, our News9 reporter has covered and followed up on this case thoroughly, and Ria also travels by cabs. Ria, you got Ashwini here, she spoke about whatever happened to her. You also spoke about yourself, about the experiences that you have had and your friends,
Yeah, sure.
and how these cabs are, cab drivers are actually so arrogant that they really don't care about what rating you give them either. Like, for them it
that
doesn't
is true.
matter.
That is absolutely true, Nabila.
What do you observe?
When we travel by cab, most of the time before we get down, right, the moment before we get down, they will say, "Madam, 5-star dijiyega," but they don't see that how they are behaving with us. Most of the time, they will be if you ask them to take a turn, they'll be like, "No, GPS nahi dikha raha hai." Most of the time, they say that, and if they know that you don't know Kannada, then it's their game. They will yell at you. At times, I have seen people, I have heard people that they're telling them that this is not the route. They're like, "You don't know anything," and they will start abusing them in Kannada. That is again a bad thing. And because we know we stay in a Silicon City where people from across the country come, so they have all the rights to travel in such transports, right? So most of the time what we see is they will always, first of all, not everyone is very sweet and good to you. They will be very rude most of the time. And they'll be like, "Okay, where you want to go? Tell me that." Okay, we understand, even you are working, we are working. It is a give and take process. We are paying you. It's not that we are going for free rides,
No,
right?
that's what I said, right? They've made us so handicapped that we
Yeah,
are
that's what.
dependent on them.
And most
so they
of the
know
time-
it as well.
Yeah.
Especially late after us, forget about
Yeah.
it. They know 100% that you are needy of them.
And I'll
not
tell
the
you
other
one
way
more
around.
thing. If you book a cab at around 12 in the night, they will pick the call and they'll be like, "Madam, where are you?" If you tell them that you're right there, like somewhere around 2-3 kilometers away from them, they'll come after 15 minutes or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They intentionally do that. We can see, because we can track them in the GPS, we can see that they're standing there, they're not even moving from that particular place. So that's how it is. And
I really
for
don't
that,
know why they do that. What
yeah.
sort of...
And most of the time they will give this reason that our GPS is not working. Though you can see it's properly working, they're just not following it. Most of the time when it has happened with me. I'll tell you, 1 year back, I was traveling from Fraser Town to Old Madras Road. And this cab driver, he told me that, "Okay, you put the location." I was like, "Fine, I can put." And there are 2-3 routes from which we can take and go to Old Madras Road from Fraser Town. So in that during that time, what happened? He just switched off his GPS and he's like, "My phone is not working. You follow your GPS." And I had low battery, just like hers. So I had only 5% charge in my phone, and I could not open GPS because it would have taken a lot of charge. And I told him, "Sir, I don't have charge in my phone. Can you just switch on your GPS?" He's like, No. Then why did you book a cab? He started misbehaving. And you know, it's about 12 kilometers from Fraser Town to Old Madras
So
Road.
that's what, the moment they know that
Yeah.
you are helpless, that's when
they start
their,
behaving like that.
Violent mode.
And while I was
comes
following
on.
her case, I could come up with a lot of things. I met a lot of people who were telling that this is not the first time. And as she said, as Somdatta has already mentioned, that one in every five, they go through that trauma. And it is true. It is actually true, because I have spoken to more than 25-30 people, and they are saying that, yeah, most of the time they have suffered through that. And especially if you book a pool, then if you don't know the language, or if you're a girl and the other person is a guy, they will just talk to them, and then they'll be like, "Okay, she doesn't know anything, so we can say anything to them." It's like that. They misbehave.
This is a common issue.
Yeah, this is a very common issue, and especially obviously it happens with all the girls, most of the girls, and people are not audacious enough like Ashwini to come in front and just talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing, right? We ourselves discourage the other women from speaking up.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
and I would like to bring this to light, Nabila, that when I told one of my friends, like, it's like being a girl, I'm supposed to support her. I was like, then the other person told me that she's a girl. Why would she wear skimpy clothes, and why would she go out at 2 in the morning? I'm like, it's none of your business. You are not supposed to say that what she's supposed to do or not. It's her life.
So
She
that
has all the
mentality
rights.
also still
yeah,
prevails.
It's
And
in
no matter how many talks we have, how
Right,
many
so-
panels
so
we have,
we
how
are-
many souls
we are
come here
supposed
and
to
talk
teach our
and speak
kids.
up, we're still going to have that mentality for,
I'm
for,
telling you
for
that
how
you
many
will-
more generations
How
I
do-
would not.
How do you
supposed to-
explain these toddlers being raped
12-year-olds, 15-year-olds being raped, people from rural areas clad from head to toe in saris.
That's right.
Okay, that's
They are
what
not raped or what?
They are not raped or
Exactly.
what?
We say that
marital
daytime
rape
rapes-
is
yeah,
that's
worse.
worse.
Exactly,
That's
it's the
worse.
worst.
That's what
We
happens
say that-
all over, and
So
they're
just
married
because-
inside the house with their own husbands raping them.
Yeah,
Maybe
just
a girl
Just
is
because of what the
supposed
women wear.
just
their
because
wives-
this falls in under the category of traveling at night time, from after a party, singing.
That's
gigs.
what I said.
It's so
you
easy
are
to
a
point.
smart girl,
That's
well-spoken
what-
girl,
yeah, that's
well
what.
dressed, have a little colored hair.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you
I know.
possibly wear jeans.
Yeah.
As
or,
ripped jeans proper
you're-
one.
you automatically become
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah,
You're
you're
a
fast,
girl.
yeah.
Chalu.
You're easily
Chalu,
approachable.
fast, all of those words,
Yeah.
right? It's so unfortunate. We have Rajesh calling in from HRBR Layout. Please go on, Rajesh.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
This is Rajesh Kiran from HRBR Layout.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I have a suggestion. Basically, I don't know if many people are aware of this or not. Recently, government of Karnataka has launched an app which is called as Suraksha.
Yeah.
And there is 50, not one or two, there are 50 pink Hoysala vans that has been inaugurated by the CM.
Yes.
This is basically to tackle such problems.
Yes.
And I myself have seen in the late nights that these vans are patrolling right around the city. So I wanted to check with people, like just create an awareness basically to download this app. So once the app gets downloaded, they just need to open the app and press 3 times a red button. So what happens? Immediately that GPRS gets tracked in the control room, and the message will be transmitted to the pink Hoysalas, which will be nearby. And that the pink Hoysalas can come to the rescue of the women there.
Yeah, that's actually a good point made. I think Amar Narayan will be able to tell us, sir, that app.
Yeah, the app is there, but only thing is every traveler has to use it before getting into the cab.
See, that's what I said.
No, that's-
you have
see,
to understand, technology can be.
Technology can be of great help to the people, and then in all the cab companies have to follow the zero tolerance limits within their company. That they have ignored. And many a time, I also agree with all the speakers here, panelists here, the level of drivers is very poor. They have just recruited after a small training, and they are not taught the basic nuances of behaving with the customers. Actually, I myself have experienced this, and then I have banged them. In fact, we have seized their licenses. I have gone in Maruvesha, I just went like a commoner and did this.
Right.
But that's not appreciated by the companies. So they say, sir, this is a poor man's, you are robbing the poor man's job. I said, job is different and service is different.
What job you're
Yes,
robbing the
you're-
poor man's
you're- we
job?
are
What
pay-
about
yes,
robbing the
we are
woman's
paying for
dignity?
it.
Dignity.
We are paying
Modesty.
for it.
It's
We are
ridiculous.
paying for it from our from our pocket. So you have to follow the
Of
rules.
course, if they are providing
So,
service, they
yes.
might as well
Yes.
provide
Absolutely.
a safe
Yes.
service.
Absolutely.
Why
Yes.
would we take just anything that comes?
That's what we have been urging the companies to do it. And but many a time, whenever the hard and fast rules are initiated, they go to the court and get them struck down. So like that, we lost about four.
No.
four
I
import-
think enough is enough.
Yes,
We've
four-
decided News9 as well
Yes.
are going to follow this up till
Yes.
there's some
Yes.
sort of security measures that they're going to install. Until then, we will be after this. You've got to help us with that.
Yes,
Sir.
many among the 16 or 17 clauses, they got struck down 4 clauses, which were very important for the safety and security of the customers. So now, with this discussion of the panelists' views, I would like to write to the government, and I will crystallize all these issues and write to the government and ask them to bring one more amendment or challenge the struck down portion in the next higher court, so that
That'll
it is
be
in
of
the
great help
yes,
in whatever
yes,
sense you want us to help you. We will follow
yes,
up.
Yes, everywhere we have all our sisters and even the ladies are traveling across the country,
Absolutely.
and they need to be given the security.
No, they have to bring
Yes.
in reforms. There's no
Yes.
doubt. They have
Yes.
to bring in reforms. I
Yes.
think we can take a lot more views of
Yes.
youngsters using cabs on a regular basis. We have a couple of students here who can tell us on what their cab experiences are and what their expectations are, so that if at all any of those cab aggregators are hopefully listening, they can possibly up their game. If not, I think we're going to follow up and make sure Amar Narayan is going to write to
Yes.
whoever concerned and ensure that that rule is implemented. And you said panic buttons are not in cars. We are going to do a follow up on that. You
Please.
wait and watch. We slip into a short break. Be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We have Usha Rao calling in from Banshankari. Go on, Usha.
Yes, good evening.
Please, ma'am.
You know, traveling by cab is just not safe for women in Bangalore. I had a terrifying experience a couple of years back.
Okay.
My sister-in-law and me, after watching a play at Ranga Shankara JP Nagar,
Yeah.
took a cab about 9:15 at night.
Yeah.
And you know, we had booked this cab through a cab agency, and we were bound for Banashankari 3rd State. But the cab driver drove us in a completely different direction
Okay.
and wouldn't stop even after we told him that it was the wrong route, you know.
Right.
And what's more, on the way he stopped someplace to take 2 other men into the taxi, but when we protested vehemently, he relented, and after going round and round for a while, you know, he brought us to our destination.
My God.
It was such a traumatic experience that I decided I should not travel by a cab ever again. But I think I got over the fear after a few months, and I have been traveling in cabs since then, and fortunately, I've never had an untoward experience since then. You know, but we decided against complaining to the cab agency against this particular driver, for fear that the driver might take revenge, as he knew where we lived, you know.
Oh
He dropped
God,
us
yeah,
home.
that's
But
you brought up a
this
very
can happen
very
to
important
senior
point.
citizens like me and my sister-in-law. I can very well imagine what young girls must be going through and how unsafe they must be feeling, especially when they travel alone in cabs. So a lot more needs to be done, you know, for the safety of women who travel by cab.
Absolutely, ma'am. You brought up a very, very valid point. A lot of us actually fear that they're going to get back at us because they know our house
Exactly.
address,
Absolutely.
right? And you're usually getting picked up from your house and dropped to your house. That's pretty much the pattern. So that's what's scary. Oh God, yeah. See, look, which is why most people actually don't come
talk
out
about
to
it,
complain or don't say anything. Why? Their livelihood, their life. Ultimately, he just touched me a little. That's all. You just let it go because you have no choice. There's no
You're
system
scared.
that supposed it. You're so scared. Let's ask these girls, Arya, your take on cab services, Ola particularly.
Well, I haven't really had any such kind of incident, I'm glad. But yeah, I've heard a lot of cases.
What kind?
The girls being molested, being raped, not only in Bangalore but also other states.
Yeah. No, anybody
Across-
personal to you that you've heard of?
No, not personal. I've read about it. I've read about many social networking sites. It is
How's
very
your experiences been?
well. I've never traveled alone. I've always traveled with my family or friends. So I haven't really had such kind of an incident. But still, it is very scary or to look at people like this. I mean, to look at cab drivers who don't even after knowing that someone will take action, they still continue to be the same. So that's how they are, and they're not scared of anything. And I think it's high time that we should really oppose and make them stop.
Are you going to boycott Ola?
I will, I guess.
Not pressurizing you.
No,
it's your
not at
take,
all.
Your call. I'm just asking you. No, but what would you want in a cab? In a cab
Well, of
service?
course, first thing is the security, which we really don't have.
A panic button would make you feel safer?
A lot more safer than what
A lot
it is
more
right
safer.
now.
Yeah, you don't need your battery. You're not worried about your battery running out.
Definitely
none of that.
not.
So if you press the panic button, if at all it is inside a car, which I've never seen, if you press it, even they get a signal.
Yes.
Or is it only
It
that
gets
your
alerted.
car buzzer will go off and you're attracting attention from
Ideally,
outside?
it is connected directly to the nearby police station.
Yeah.
So even the emergency button that is there in Ola, it is not to intimate Ola, it is to intimate the police. The police, right? So the panic button, if it's installed, will directly get into the go into the police. But there are a lot of technology issues with that. The implementation of that is not as seamless as it sounds. It's like saying that it's a fancy thing.
So
we
the
should
fact
have
that
it.
they haven't installed it, then can you really blame them?
No, it's because it's technologically there can be a lot of glitches. There is a possible of a wire dysfunctioning. There's a possible of a cab, having issues in terms of the location that is in. There are a lot of things that cannot, because there's a lot of wireless connectivity that is
I
required.
get it. So that's what. Can you blame them then? Can you blame
That's what I'm
Ola and
saying.
Uber for not having that kind of?
They have installed that in the app, and that's like the gentleman who called in and said, right, the Suraksha app. Technology, while it enables us, it also disables us, right? And the challenge is that if you do not have battery, if you do not have signal, then you can't do anything about it.
So
right?
that's when your panic button will come
That's
into
why-
play. But
yeah.
I'm saying your panic button to actually install it. You're
Just
saying there's a-
along with just with the panic button is not sufficient. You have to have camera installation. So you have to understand it can't be either or. It has to be both together. So if something goes wrong, there is footage based on which action can be taken. And if a guy, see what is, like doctor was saying, what's the mind of a criminal? How it typically works is it's either fear or it's fortification. So it's like this: if he knows he's watched constantly, he will not try to act. But if you just have a panic button, you're still giving him a leeway to tamper with it. But he can't tamper with security footage. So the fear instilled in him will disable him from doing anything.
Doing it, yeah, exactly what I'm saying. That itself will deter him there.
I think I would just put a point here. In many places, in many places you have cameras installed. And it is most of the time those cameras are actually not working, and nobody is sitting and this thing. But just the idea that it is being it has been installed and something is there which can actually
Yeah, of course. We're as simple as thrashing a place. We're walking in our own newsroom. We don't want to be littering because or we don't want to be shouting and punching each other because there's a CCTV camera. You avoid it. So there itself, it's keeping that fear alive, which is great. No, but my question to you was, if technology wise we're not that advanced, or if your panic buttons are not so accessible or can't, can we really blame them, or can they actually get it done? You're saying, can they?
See, there is always a way out, right? If it's not a physical one, then there has to be something like, for example, if it's not right within the cab, because there can be glitches with that, then there has to be an alternate to it, right? So there is an alternate in terms of sometimes what happens is, if the guy is derouting or going away, or while you're getting into the cab, if you observe anything, you beforehand only start pressing the emergency or alert them. There's an alert thing that you can do while you get into the cab itself. But for that, you have to have your phone on full power. So I'm saying you can't leave something to fate, right? If not, why then what do I do? Be prepared. Get into a cab knowing that there is a 10% if so chance of you getting into trouble, whatever trouble it may be. So get into the cab prepared.
Well, not 10%. I presume there's a 50% going by.
I'm just giving you an example.
Every fifth case is a case like this.
Yeah, that's it. 1.5 itself is like, it's about 20%, right? So you have 20% chance of getting into trouble. So you get into the cab and you alert. And the other thing a lot of people do is, when at night, don't book the cab yourself, ask somebody else to book it for you, so he or she can track it. See, you have to understand, you have to use your logic in some cases. Well, I can understand Ashwini's case may have been different, but when I'm traveling late at night and if my driver is not available, I ask my friend to book the cab, so she monitors if I've reached, because she has access to internet, she has access to data, so she can immediately alert whether there is a detour.
Correct.
I don't do it myself. So see, you have to figure out, while there are roadblocks, there is also ways out, right? So we have to figure out our own ways and do that, but that no way means we let them go.
Not at all. We're not going to let this go in the first place.
We have to ensure that there is security vigilance, there is security.
So cameras on the phones, in the phones, or inside the car itself.
Inside the car. You can't have it in the phone. You can't have it in the phone. You have to have it in the car installed.
Inside the car. And to make it compulsory.
That's it.
In fact, I know for a fact that they provide speakers and all of that to cars.
They have entertainment system. They have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
They have all of that jazz. Why don't they have security, which is the most essential part for customer satisfaction and security?
I think a camera is and a camera might not even be that it's not difficult.
It's extremely cost efficient and not difficult to monitor. The only thing that they need to do is
manpower to actually monitor it. What if we can come up with solutions sitting like in a rapid fire round in a room? Right, what are they doing? What is their marketing team doing? I really wonder.
So instead of putting up hoardings, invest in where you
absolutely. We'll slip into a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're quickly taking a caller, Rajana from PC Palya. Go on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Ola has this facility where you can register your emergency contact.
Right.
And SMS is sent to this emergency contact person whenever you're boarding a cab, and whenever you are off boarding the cab, it is SMS to that person.
Right.
So they can basically track you, and if it is taking longer, they can always check on this. And also the point that the person made, we can insist that cameras be set in the Ola cabs as well.
So if there are features like that, I think it's just that people are unaware of it.
And also we should try to learn Kannada. It becomes an essential weapon these days, to handle the lower cadre people like drivers and auto people and all of them. The moment they know that you speak the local language, they try not to misbehave with you.
Very true, very true, very true. I totally agree with that. Actually, I'll tell you what happens. The moment you call the driver or driver calls you, he starts in Hindi. He does not even try Kannada. The driver itself says, hello, kidhar ho madam, kya, he assumes. So I make it a point to immediately, respond in Kannada. So then he comes to Kannada.
Yeah.
So that, there's a switch to that. But
This guy never spoke to me in Kannada. I kept talking to him in Kannada. He never spoke to me in Kannada, not a word.
maybe he didn't know Kannada.
He spoke in Hindi. Even his Hindi wasn't great either.
You also mentioned about somebody dozing off. What happened?
Like long back, another incident. So wherein it was Ola again, I guess. So I happened to doze off, and I woke up to see this driver just staring at me. He's driving like this, like he's just staring, and it was creepy. Like
it's scary. I'm telling you.
He's just looking at me. So I mean.
Oh God, I just, it gives me the jitters. Okay, Shreya uses cabs herself. Shreya, what's been your experience so far? Hope.
See, cases like Ashwini's, they happen every other day. So every time a girl, a female, boards a cab at an odd hour, this is the first thought that crosses her mind, that this might happen with me. But somehow we are not always prepared for it, because we know it might not happen with us. I travel every day. I commute by cabs every day. So the instances that I go through are because of I'm not from Karnataka, I'm not from Bangalore, so I don't understand Kannada. So that is when these guys misbehave.
What way misbehave?
They'll start talking to you in Kannada. Despite of the fact knowing that I don't understand Kannada, they'll start doing that. So that's what they do. And one of the things that my mom has told me is, when I'm traveling alone, I do send her the details that where am I going. Or one thing that she's also told me is that whenever you're traveling, you have to be prepared. You need to let the driver know that you're not alone and somebody is aware of it. So what I tend to do is I call someone. Even if I don't call, I just pretend I'm on a phone and I'm telling the details of the driver to someone. So that is something I do because I have to travel
very
alone.
Necessary. At least, see, you all through the day, fine, if you're feeling safe, there are people outside, you can shout and get some attention. Night times is something that you always, now you should always keep in mind, Ashwini. And you said, you also mentioned...
to take my car out. I've decided to take
You've
my
decided
car
to take
out.
your car out. You said you've been using your car for so many years for the last...
Yeah, for the last 18 months or so, I've been using cabs. And I never thought that
something like this will ever happen.
And I just took it for, I don't know, I mean, I would hear about it all the time, the incidents, but...
You don't think it's going to happen with you? That's
with me, yeah, I never thought.
You always want to believe
feel
that,
the same. I'm a reporter, it's not going to happen to me.
You know,
not just that. I promise. I promise I feel that.
Nabila, we wish it doesn't happen to us, right?
We wish.
It always is that I hope today I'm safe. It's a human psychology. It's okay to feel that way because who wants to think, okay, it's going to happen to me, right? But while you wish for it, it's important that you gear yourself up in a way that you prepared for the worst. But you don't want it to happen.
So Shreya takes it up. She sends her, she reminds her mum where where she's reached or whatever. You send the cab details. If not for mum, your friends. You do it with your friends.
Even if I cannot contact anyone, I'll just pretend that I'm on the phone telling it to someone.
So sending
at
out
least
a
the
signal.
driver is aware that somebody knows, that somebody is keeping a track of him.
Absolutely. Good job. Rinalda, your experience with cabs. How often do you take your cabs? What's the deal?
I'm mostly with my two-wheeler.
Okay.
But otherwise also to far off distances, I take cabs, but fortunately till now I haven't faced anything like that. But
have you heard of instances?
Once, yeah, one of my friends said that the driver was complimenting her. She was wearing some Western outfit. She was returning from a party. An afterboards party. So he was just saying that she's, acha dress madam, kahan se liya and all that stuff.
My God.
But she found it ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, had he asked me that, I would have, answered back and still continued my ride as long as he shuts up.
Yeah, and he was a Bihari. He was asking her for how long she's stayed in Bangalore. I mean, it's sometimes these drivers, not all drivers ask such questions in a wrong intention.
They're not supposed to be asking.
They're
but
not
if they do ask,
some get offended.
Notorious. They are being notorious. So you speak to them the same way, shut them up, they'll probably shut up.
Yeah.
Probably. If
Yeah.
you are bold enough. But if you keep quiet, I'm only worried that question can go into something else, can get into something else. Does that happen, Ruchi? Dr. Ruchi? What? He complimented her. And
So
then
there are two ways of handling it. Okay, ignoring. I think showing indifference is the most
and
becoming
best
aware
way.
that okay, fine, he has asked me this question, and at the same time just ignoring. That could be one way of responding. The other thing is, भैया अभी मेरा बात करने का है, or simply take your phone and start talking to someone. So that person gets a message that you are not interested in his questions.
With him.
Yeah, so I think that could be the best.
how about I respond
Yeah.
to him? क्यों आपको पूछा मैंने dress अच्छा है
नहीं
क्या
नहीं
नहीं? Then what would
no,
he
that
react?
can go okay, again it can take an aggressive thing.
Yes.
Okay, it is an aggressive stance, and if he is just genuinely just asking like that, or you know sometimes he is becoming over friendly, okay, and then he can say, if he is sensible, he'll, and if his intentions are not wrong, he will say, okay, sorry madam. Okay, otherwise he can say, he can, if his intentions primarily you know on the wrong footing, he can get back to you. So I think first thing is you can ignore it, become more vigilant. Ki this guy is asking me these questions. And
I don't know how much ignorance works really. I think
No,
the more
sometimes,
aggressive,
but
or you react to them in a way where you know that, listen, I'll put you in your place, immediately they shut
You know,
up.
sometimes you have to understand that when you're at their, to be very honest, when you're in the cab, you're really literally at their mercy, right? And you have to understand that ego is a very dangerous thing, Nabila, right? While we all want to protest, we want to be careful about it's not at the behest of causing any kind of injury to myself, right? So he may not say something to you, you don't know what's going to come back to you later on. Also understand the drivers are a very close nexus, right? Like like she said, a friend of hers met with a Bihari guy. There are a lot of them who've come here, and I'm not against any state, but they stay together, they live together. One guy can, he says that something like this has happened, and this lady has said something like that, and they have your details. Next time you're boarding and the other guy knows that you're the woman, you have no idea what can happen to you. And there are incidents like this, which I'm telling you, there's a real life incident that like this has happened, where the other guy took the revenge because he said, how could you let that go? So don't massage anybody's ego when you're at the mercy of a situation. And I agree with Doctor, is that sometimes ignorance is bliss, not always, right? It's important to stand up for your self-respect, but in a situation when you can seek help. See, the gender part, where it comes into play, Nabila, is because the other sex feels inferior and wants to prove a point using physical strength. And therefore, they already kind of, know that, you're the weaker sex, because in their mind, you're a woman who's weaker, and therefore he wants to get rid of his inferiority and insecurity, issues by demonstrating his strength on you. So do you want to be in that situation? The answer is no. So in ideal cases, like I was saying, right, don't sit behind the driver. Don't make yourself visible to him. Sit on the other side so you're watching too. Like she said, call up a friend, pretend you're on a call. Not just that, if you have access, send out your information. I always believe, while we can always bring up these issues and protest and boycott, why not also be careful so that I can circumvent these issues and take care of myself?
Right. A good point that Dr. Shaw mentioned is that don't when you don't be arrogant because your situation does not favor it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would just give a brief classification which has been done on rapists, type of rapists by Harvard psychologists. They said one is your opportunistic and impulsive kind of rapists who are just looking for that opportunity. Then you have someone called as anger rapists, like because they want to vent out their anger on female gender or on humanity as such, they want to catch a victim and inflict pain. Third type of rapists are your power rapers, the one with very low self-esteem, or they are inadequate themselves, but by showing their power in this sexual way on a woman, they want to show their supremacy, and that gives them a sense of, that massages their ego, or that gives them a sense of adequacy. Then you have the fourth types, the worst types, the sadistic rapists who are perverts basically. And one more thing, when we are talking so much about having a background check and all that, we can't say that all the criminals who are lurking or all the people who are lurking around, they are potential rapers or they are potential, criminals.
Their record means nothing. Well, you can obviously filter them based on that, but after that,
you have to do a psychometric test. Then
you can't even that. All that is very difficult. Again, look at Indian population, and if that was
that's what I'm saying.
So they are all normalistic people. They are all normal kind of people, but again in various situations they can behave like that because they are again they have one is physical your constitution, that is men are stronger than women. Number 2 is your genetic, then again your testosterone and all kind of hormones come into play and all that stuff. Aggression, sex goes together. Number 3 is your social context. That is very important because in India at least we know that men, and again because women have been typecasted, women have been objectified. It is all happening in our country. So because of all that there is social sanction. Okay, yeah, women you can say like that, they are the weaker sex, you can talk to them like that. Or like again if you look at in Karnataka, people can have, oh, these are from north or these people are from east. Again because we have got these kind of a mental blocks we have created. So this cultural thing that is why either you can have a top up kind of a reform, that is you tell all the government the center has to do this, the state government has to do this, and the Ola company per se has to take the responsibility, or you have a bottom up approach. That is the men from beginning know how to behave. What we were talking about earlier.
So that's what I said. Are we waiting for 4 more generations to pass for a fresh lot of men to come, and the ones who are good and nice and kind to women? I'm really waiting for that day. I hope I'm going to be alive. We're going to slip into a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Well, coming back to Ashutosh. Ashutosh, we were talking about all the women who have had bad experiences in cab. Have you heard of anybody, your friends or yourself, who've faced any sort of harassment, considering apparently they're a mafia cab drivers?
Well, if you give them an opportunity, there will be.
Yeah, you give them an opportunity. Are you really trying to say that she gave them an opportunity?
No, I'm not blaming that.
No, I'm just saying what kind of opportunity do you give them?
First, we need to understand the segment of the society we are talking about. They did not have the upbringing that we have.
So?
That the power to think is not their culture. They lack, basically, I would say backward.
Well, you're right. They've been brought up in the environment where men are always more powerful than the women. But what about them abusing men itself?
Yes, the chauvinistic environment, yes. What do we have to do? We have to culture amongst ourselves. We need to, I would say, safeguard our interest. In our case, I would say, karate classes. No, you need to safeguard. You need to understand what you're dealing with. Now you can't say a panic button because these are all tangible aspects. It may break down if the phone itself is dying.
But saying that, we can't not have it.
See, you can have it, but you can't depend on it.
Yeah, agreed.
Right.
But companies like Ola and Uber have to have it.
They need to have it.
Whether we depend on it or not is different. But they have to have it, making sure that we are feeling safe at least.
Yes, it is a necessity.
Yeah.
But then you can't actually bank on it, right? At 3 in the morning, what are you going to do?
No, well, bank on what else then? If there's a panic button, you will bank on the panic button.
No, she was frozen for that moment, right?
Yeah, no, even then, she still recovered for that in the next minute.
But at that particular moment, what do you do?
What do you do? You tell me.
Yeah, safeguard yourself.
How?
You get into all these classes. They hold.
Okay, so what you're trying to say
what I would
is
suggest
be
Ola
prepared.
would be self-defense.
Come up with your self-defense.
Basically. And what I would suggest Ola is, before recruiting them, have a psychometric test done, and as well as soft skills training, because they really need it. Right? You need to understand. You can't just recruit someone and just tell them, okay, this is a car, go drive. Right?
You need to understand their mentality. What kind of guy?
You need to understand what you're dealing with. Right? You need to coach them. I think any IT professional would know this. Before actually giving them a job, there's a training and development time.
Yeah. So
don't
Ola and Uber, don't they do it?
No, it's mandatory. It's mandatory that
no, it's just
every year they have to undergo a refresher course, and before recruitment they have to be given proper training and a detailed training to deal with the customers. It's already there.
So they do it.
Many a time they don't do it.
They don't do it.
No, they don't. That's the thing. It's more of a pseudo. His namesake, okay, it exists. Here's a certificate, take and go.
How many of them actually attend it?
They don't.
Yes.
If-
They don't,
see,
and they don't follow up on that.
even if
Nabila,
they
there is
even if
no
they
way
do
you can-
attend, they need to understand the language. If a person from Bihar can come and survive in Karnataka, doesn't know Kannada, what will he understand English?
Exactly. Very true. Very true.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So their approach to the drivers also, I wonder what multiple languages that they're going to be
No,
talking
like,
to the
like
drivers.
the lady
with.
mentioned, 5 lakh drivers. Who will take personal initiative? It's a business.
What?
It's a
Who
business
takes personal
process.
initiative? The
The
heads,
company.
the
No,
company has
The
to
The
take
thing
the
is,
decision.
until unless you made news of this, it wouldn't have reached outside. News
I mean,
9,
thanks to
yeah,
Ashwini at least.
Yeah, she's put a bold face. on
Yeah.
it. And you guys are doing a remarkable job carrying this news forward.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
That's
how many
exactly,
cases have
exactly.
gone unseen?
I mean, I didn't know it was
told
1
you.
in 5.
Yeah, it is.
1 in 5
Yeah,
cases.
how many
that
cases
are-
have gone unseen?
See, out of the callers
And-
that you have,
and-
most of them are experienced it.
And you were talking about Nirbhaya case. The juvenile who did the most harm, he said if she'd have shut her mouth, I wouldn't have done anything to her. These are results.
That's what they're
That's-
trying to say. It's the ego which
It's
is
the
very
ego.
fragile.
So at
It
that
is.
particular moment, what can you do? Self-defense. Don't freeze. Learn.
How
Get
to
into
not
self-defense.
freeze.
And it's not
No,
only the
see,
lower
you need to.
strata
You
of
need
the-
to. So for instance,
I agree.
a lady was
It's
telling
not
in,
only the
Yeah,
lower
I
in
agree.
US all of this doesn't happen. Why? They have mock drills, right?
Yeah, they do. Like,
Yeah. Now 12-year-olds are getting raped in schools. Who's doing it? The PT teacher, right? The physical trainer. So where now you need to understand the society.
See, you know,
Where
one
do
thing,
who are you recruiting?
see, it's
Who
not
are
that it
you
doesn't.
recruit- See,
It's,
my
it
ga-
doesn't. It's not that it doesn't happen in US. I disagree with that. US is got the highest amount of reported crime rates
Yeah.
for molestation and rape. Right now, you have to understand it's got nothing to do with education. It's got nothing to do with the lower strata. It is to do with the very essence and framework of one's mind, which is typically formed due to the kind of social circle and upbringing they have. When you are taught to believe you are supreme, you want to exercise that supremacy in some fashion. And another thing you have to understand, we always aspire to have something that we can't. Correct? A driver seeing a very beautiful woman behind him who comes from an upper strata of the society, has a lifestyle he can't afford. He always wants to exercise that in the form of physical violence. And in this case, the only possible probability of physical violence is molestation or rape. Like, you know, you have a car which you think you want to drive a Merc, but you can only afford like a Honda City. You know, you get an opportunity, you look at it. If your friend offers a drive, you would. And here, if a friend is not offered a drive, I will go ahead and ride her. So it's that kind of a thought process. It's got nothing to do with US, India.
So educated, not educated. I totally
That's
agree.
what-
Which
It's
is
got
why
nothing to do
we're
with
talking for a system to be in place. So
Exactly.
at least that way people are forced to follow it. Have
Absolutely.
no other choice but
You
to
know,
follow it.
there
We
is-
can't change different kinds, different mentality, different. You know, each one has a different
let me give you
hormone.
Let me
We
give you
can't
an
control
example
that. So maybe the system will control
of an
that.
Infosys guy who was reported about 5 years back, right, who kind of raped and killed his wife within like 2
Yes.
months of marriage. You know why? Because initially a girl had rejected him. So when he got married, that was still playing at the back of the mind. And I want to say this to all the viewers on TV. If you have depression, if you have issues, go to a psychiatrist. If you sneeze, you go and see a doctor. Having mental problems is a serious health and a societal hazard. You have to seek help. You have to go to people like Ruchi. You stop labeling people saying they're mad if they go and seek mental help. It is very essential. The brain is the most vital organ, and people have found out in studies that most of the rapist has neurological disorders which causes some amount of lesser secretion of chemical substance. So there is studies based on that. So now you know, while I know that it's not going to be suddenly that all this will start, neither will Ola implement a psychometric
We've
test.
taken an initiative.
Yeah.
No, we're
Absolutely.
going to take this up. I mean, whether
Absolutely.
Ola, if Ola doesn't do it, over time they'll figure out how
Ola has to do-
passengers have boycotted them.
See, it's like
right.
this. Ola has to put a vigilance in place. They have to put camera in place. See, we can't observe if they're doing the psychometric test because it happens behind closed doors. But what we can observe is what is tangible.
Yeah.
Having the camera,
Absolutely.
having a physical panic button, which is, if it's possible, you know, to ensure that is there. Take all measures so that you're in a position to at least argue if something went wrong.
Absolutely.
Don't hide behind the closet and not take responsibility. So I urge them, their people, to come out and at least speak to the media. Be an inclusive citizen of this country because you're doing business in this country. So have respect for the customer and the
Absolutely.
consumer.
On a quick note, a solution basis, Ria, you were mentioning.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say that it does not depend on the kind of society you belong to. From where you come, you belong to the lower strata of the society or the upper class. It does not depend on that.
Clearly.
It is only your head. It's only your mind. And calling someone mad just because that person visits a psychologist, that does not make that person mad. That makes
But
you mad.
how can we curb this
Yeah.
menace? We have exactly a minute.
So,
how can we curb this menace?
There were these cabs called She Cabs in Mumbai. They had female drivers as well as female passengers. So it made it really safe. So I've seen people using that because in Mumbai we know people have that kind of lifestyle. Most of the production work happens late in the night.
Late.
So they do that.
So it works in Mumbai, sir?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I have another, I would like to share another experience.
Yeah. So I have absolutely no time. You're a quick
just
note.
one few seconds.
Yeah.
I landed in Dubai at 2 a.m. The driver was a lady. In a Muslim country, a lady driver drives the passengers.
Wow.
So that lacked in my mind. So I wanted to bring pink taxis in Bangalore.
Right.
That was rather the men mafia blocked it.
The male mafia blocked
The male
it.
mafia.
Good Lord, look at this. Yeah.
And then it all depends on how we educate the drivers. It is the basic responsibility of the aggregators to educate all the drivers in the most humane way.
Yes.
To behave in a humane way.
Absolutely.
And to treat the lady passengers with all respect.
That's all. I think we ourselves have come to a conclusion here. I wish the the cab company owners themselves listen, show some respect to their customers and up their game soon enough. Thank you so much for joining us. Speaking on that, well, you heard that incidents like this are not going to stop possibly because human mentality, human brain is beyond our control altogether. What you can do is take a few small precautionary measures, like Dr. Shom said, sit on the other side where the driver is diagonal to you. Possibly update your parents or your friend or anybody about the location or whatever, the details of the cab, all of the details that come on your phone, send it to somebody immediately. Just make sure you don't doze off. I know it's difficult, but don't doze off. Other than that, any incident that comes up, please call Ola or Uber or whichever cab service that is providing you the cab. Call them and hound them. Threaten them that you have, it's actually, you can actually file in the consumer court as well. All right?
He's not behind the bars.
That's right.
Yeah, what's all the more embarrassing is that this man has not yet been arrested.
So punishment should be made more severe.
No, my earnest request is, which a lot of people are shying away from. I know sometimes it's a little scary to walk into a police station and file an FIR.
Yeah.
Please go ahead and file an FIR, even if it's a trivial offense.
Go and the whole misconception of filing an FIR will actually trouble you all the more. They're going to call you inside the police station. None of that happens anymore. All of that has been waved off by the police.
Absolutely.
All you have to do, if you just call the police, they'll probably even come to your house. You don't even need to go to the police station. So please take a stand for yourself and for all the rest of the women and men. Ensure that your cab ride is safe the next time. Thank you so much for watching us. Stay tuned for more news and updates on the other side.